So very happy Thanksgiving from everyone here on the show, and we're all looking forward to tomorrow. I know a lot of you are off today, so if you're driving to grandma's or your in-laws or wherever you're going, listening to us on the radio or home with the family, we appreciate it. We'll be here all afternoon, and I'll be back Friday. Let's check in with this. Josh Bertuccini reporting that Alex Golesh will be the next coach at Arkansas. It has been a long look since Sam Pittman was let go. He is 41, 3 years at South Florida, formerly with Josh Heupel at Tennessee. JB, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. So good afternoon. Tell us what you know at this hour.
Yes, sir, Mr. Paul, and a happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend, and all of your listeners here on the Finebaum Show. What exciting times for folks here in the SEC with all the coaching moves going on and about to go down all over the place. Here at Arkansas, it's been a very unsettled turkey week, and we haven't even started eating or digesting our food yet. But as of the last couple of days, last round for the Razorbacks, we're seeing this university trying to recycle back around after what, Paul? 6 years of the Sam Pittman era. Of course, the last couple of months, Bobby Petrino, for the last 6. And so now it's time for a new coach, Hunter Yurachek, the chair of the College Football Playoff Committee, doing a little double-time work. And obviously the talk the last week has been who will be the guy, who wants this job for Arkansas. And a lot of folks want a proven name, a proven winner, but you have to look at where you're at the turkey table this time of year. And Arkansas is obviously dead last in the conference for a reason. You haven't been able to find somebody who wants to commit to this job. And obviously reports last week that Ryan Silverfield at Memphis wanted it badly. Eric Morris 2 days ago at North Texas was the darling of the day for Razorback fans. And now here we are literally on the eve of Thanksgiving. And by all accounts, Alex Golesh, the head coach at South Florida, offered the job at the University of Arkansas last night, has given word back that he wants this job, he wants to take it, but trying to work out the details of still making sure his South Florida team has a chance to go out and close out with another win or two here at the end of the year. So this is all very new stuff with coaches and the new calendar and how you time it all out. I'm not sure if Alex Golesh was the first guy. It certainly doesn't sound like he was 2 or 3 on the board. But with a search firm in place and Hunter Yurachek doing his diligence, it does sound like the Arkansas Razorbacks have found their man in the 41-year-old head coach in South Florida.
Yeah, Alex Golesh, who went to Ohio State, he'll be the only SEC coach in the event that he is hired that was born in Moscow. That's not Moscow, Arkansas, but Moscow, Russia. I mean, he's a fascinating backstory. So in the short time that you have had a chance to sense the public reaction in your state, tell us what you are hearing.
Look, it's a good question for you to ask, Paul, certainly from your national perspective, right? What are you hearing in your neck of the woods? And I feel like, on the ground right now, it's like being close to a disaster site. You want to be careful what you compare it to because you don't want to hurt feelings. But, something along the lines of a waste dump. I mean, Razorback football has been so down for so long now, it's hard to remember the glory days of Darren McFadden and Matt Jones because it's been decades, Paul. So I almost feel like right now it wouldn't matter if you were hiring Bear Bryant at his peak or Nick Saban or the ghost of Newt Rockne. There would still be a sizable portion of Razorback fans who would have disdain for the hire. And I'm not even blaming them. I think a big part of that is they've been scorned, and they've had so many people throughout the years rumored as being the savior, right? Remember Gus Malzahn? We talked about that on your show a number of years ago. Lane Kiffin was a possible hire for Arkansas. We talked about that on your show a number of years ago. So I don't know if there is a unifying hire anymore, and you've heard every name under the sun from John Gruden to, like I said, to Pat Fitzgerald to, everybody and back again. At the end of the day, it's kind of where we started a few minutes ago, Paul. You have to find somebody who's not only capable of the job, but genuinely wants to take on the challenge. Because make no mistake, being the head coach of the University of Arkansas Razorback football team is a very challenging job.
JB, you mentioned Gruden. I've heard there have been some people pushing Gruden, including our good friend John Daly. Did that ever get serious in your estimation?
No, I've never been able to get any tread on the Gruden story. I know there was some talk maybe earlier that Arkansas would take a swing at somebody, kind of like Calipari with basketball, right? Kind of Yurachek, not afraid to go for the top of the pops. And you heard some rumblings perhaps about LSU's unease with Brian Kelly, about what was going on out there with the Dabo Sweeney and Clemson. So, Paul, so many different names. It's still hard to imagine this process is going to end here in the next few days. But what you have now is the University of Arkansas almost bidding against itself, right? So you get a guy who says he wants the job. If indeed this reporting that I'm giving you on the show is accurate, as we believe it 100% is, and Golich wants the challenge, and his wife is from the area, and he sees the chance to step up into the SEC. But the University of Arkansas can't not make this work now, right? You've already danced with a couple of guys. We talked about some names. It hasn't worked out. There's a segment of Razorback fans that really believed James Franklin was about to be hired 2 weeks ago. Now, we obviously didn't think that was the case. But, Paul, so hard to make sense of what's real and what's not. The thing we feel best about here, when you start to compare the reporting with some other folks, not only within the state but outside of the state, Alex Golich has been on that list all along. So is Ryan Silverfield. So is Eric Morris. It doesn't make Razorback fans happy, but this whole notion of a proven Power 4 winner coming into Arkansas for some kind of a discount to save the Razorbacks from themselves, it's just not going to happen. So Alex Golich, a name that's been on the board from the beginning, seems like Arkansas right now trying to cross the T's and dot the I's, Paul, but it's time to put this thing to bed. You've been looking for a coach for 6 years, let alone 2 months, truthfully.
You mentioned the athletic director, Hunter Yurachek, and he certainly stepped into a number of situations. How would you? I guess we have to see how this job lands, but give us the assessment of him from the Razorback public right now.
Look, you have to work your own magic, right, in and out of doors and committees and rooms, and so the last thing I want to do is make things difficult on your show on the eve of Thanksgiving. But it's fair to say that Hunter Yurachek's inability to figure out the football program has led to some dissent amongst the Razorback fan base. You know me, I go to all the games, all the sports, and I've seen the decaying attendance. I've seen the empty, ritzy seats, and I'm sure Hunter Yurachek's employers on the board of trustees see that stuff as well. That's dollars, Paul. You know what business you're in. So when that stuff's going out the door, it's hard for a local media guy like me to come on and say, hey, he's doing an unbelievable job. Then again, he's dealing with things I'm not dealing with, and you look at it beyond just the football situation, which is hard to do. But he has done very well with basketball here. I've talked to a couple of donors at the U of A here in the last month, and they think basketball right now in Fayetteville is going great. And you can debate that, but it sure seems like it's going pretty good. In the last 5 years, Hogs have been to 3 Sweet 16s, and we're about 4 now after last year. And so from Eric Musselman to John Calipari, you look at that, you're like, Hunter Yurachek's doing okay here. But at the end of the day, Paul, back to the Thanksgiving references, we know the bread is buttered with football in the SEC, and that's just been, Hunter Yurachek has not scored that touchdown yet, so you wonder if this hire here is in kind of his last chance to get it right at Arkansas.
Josh, hold on one second. We have a statement now, and that's all the world needs is yet another statement. We had one the other day from Ole Miss, which read like a run-on paragraph. This is from Rob Higgins, who is the CEO of USF Athletics. I can't believe I have to read another one of these things. Since Saturday's game, Coach Golich has been presented with outside opportunities that he has been transparent about with us. We are respectful and supportive of Coach and his family in their decision-making process. Will remain in constant communication. Bulls Nation, rest assured we are ultra prepared for every scenario. it goes on and on and on. Josh, tell me something. Maybe because I grew up as a writer and I had editors who were always trying to compress the sentences and the paragraphs. Why do these athletic directors feel like they have to just throw up all over a computer and send out aimless mind-numbing sentences and statements that don't mean anything?
I mean, Paul, I can barely figure out how to use my computer, so I don't know how in the world I'm going to answer that question. But you bring up a great point. Like, you put out a press release like that. I don't want to say that furthers our reporting here in Fayetteville, but that's the farthest thing from a denial I've ever heard of. And I don't know, we've had so many stories like that. Like North Texas on Saturday is preparing to offer Eric Morris a lifetime contract. I didn't know that Denton, Texas was a lifetime college football job, but a lot of reports told you that was a done deal. And then 36 hours later, he's going to Stillwater as fast as he can. So it's very hard at the ground level. I'm not making excuses for myself here, but it's very hard to keep your head on straight right now. And I think, like I said before, we'd all like to see Arkansas put this to bed. I will add, Paul, that Bobby Petrino, the interim coach at Arkansas, I mentioned going 0 for 6 this year earlier. We all know the story of the motorcycle and the rest of it. I'm not here for that stuff this time, but he definitely put out a statement about, an hour and a half ago now, 2 hours ago now? This was about a half hour after we reported that Alex Golesh was, locking up the details with Arkansas. Petrino basically put out a resignation letter. So, I mean, you bring up the social media, folks can check it. Coach B. Petrino, he thanked Razorback fans.
Hey, JB, we talked about this earlier, but at least Petrino was saying goodbye. He wasn't obfuscating. He wasn't BSing. And I appreciate what Petrino did. But I'll tell you what, if I ever get into the crisis management business, which I'm thinking about doing, by the way, I will tell everybody, no more bloviating statements. Just, if you have something to say, say it. If you don't, shut up already. JB, thanks for the great reporting. We appreciate it. It is Thanksgiving. We'll try to remember that before we attack everybody in America. We'll take a short break. Your phone calls are around the corner.